you think will be some of your biggest challenges with this group of young men? Obviously, they've got God-given innate talents and an opportunity to do something special. But what do you think will be your biggest challenge with them?
Dealing with the ups and the downs of a season. Having them deal with the grind. If you want to be special and you want to do this, the grind is the important part. You have to love the grind. You have to love the day-to-day stuff, because mainly you have to stay in the moment and you have to love the moment. Because if you're worrying about what's ahead, what if we win next week? What happens if we're in the tournament? What happens if we get to the Final Four? You're in anxiety all day. So you stay in the moment. The grind, they're not used to. They do what they want on their terms, whether it's in school or on the basketball court. I don't feel like going today. I've got a groin pull. No, you don't. You're practicing today. Had a guy yesterday at practice. I knew he didn't want to be there. He's looking at a guy that can't go because of a hamstring saying, I want to do that too. Can't do that. Not if you want to be special. The ups and downs are pretty, hey, are you going to be full of yourself when you do well? And then we can't continue to grow? Because this team must continue to grow all year. If we do, it'll be like the 2012 team. If we don't, they won't reach their potential. How do you grow when things aren't going well? You can't point fingers. You got to evaluate what happened and fix it. And then move on. It's done. It's over. You can't let that stuff linger. If it's going well, what are we doing well? Let's build on that. Let's keep looking for weaknesses. How do we improve? What would you do to beat us? I asked my staff, well, let's make sure they can't do that. But that growth, the daily grind, the ups and downs, this team has never been through anything in this kind of glow, this kind of limelight, which there's no other stage like this. Maybe Alabama football, but there's no other stage that brings this much light to the kids.
So you've had 2 or 3 practices so far. What letter grade would you give the practices for these first 2 or 3? I know it's early, probably not fair to ask for a letter grade, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Well, 2 things. Willie's not practiced, and neither is Alex. So 2 guys that I would predict will be in our top 7 are not even on the floor yet. But one guy's misery is another guy's opportunity.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden, Derek Willis and Marcus Lee step up, and you and I talk, and you say, I like these 2. This kid Willis is going to play, and Marcus Lee, you better put him on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so we were able to find that out because those 2 were out. I would say right now we're hovering around B's only because, not because of effort, because they're not sustaining yet. You know, they're playing in spurts hard, they're really competing, but it's still on their terms. It can't be on their terms. It's got to be on our terms. And so they're not quite there, but I'll be honest with you, they're better practices. 2 years ago, we did not have one bad practice, that national championship team. Not one. And you could ask anybody on my staff, not one. Last year, we had about a handful of really good practices. Right now, these practices are well beyond last year. Are they to the level of 212? Well, this is really early. We've never started this early. We had more time for conditioning than we do right now.
Has anybody really exceeded your expectations early on, John? Anybody that you knew was good, but you watched him a little bit and you said, you know what? He's got a chance to be special.
Aaron Harrison. Because everybody talks about Andrew, and they say Aaron's just an afterthought. Well, if you ask me right now who my best player is on this team right now, I'm saying Aaron Harrison. Now, that may offend some other people. Now, I'm saying today. Let me tell you why I say that, because you're saying, what about Julius? Julius is outstanding. If I wanted to win college games, where would I play Julius?
Inside. Under
the basket. Well, it's bigger than that for us. We're trying to develop players who, in turn, if we do it right, will win college games. We're playing them out on the floor. Well, here's what happens. You're a great rebounder and you're a great post-up player. Even if I start you out, you still got to do those things. You must offensive rebound. Second thing, now all of a sudden he's going to put it on the floor and make decisions. He's playing starting like a guard, finish like a big man. Well, it's a little harder when you're moving that fast. Now you're running people over. Now you must shoot the righty layup. You can't bring it back to your left. Second thing, you got to pull up from 5 feet. You got to get it to 5 feet areas and just let it go in there. Not used to that. So right now, I'm telling him, just let go, make mistakes, miss shots. You got to let your best players just go. And then try to figure out, okay, let them figure out, you figure out what's the best way. What are the best things you do now? Because I'm still trying to figure these guys out.